In this video, I'll share effective tips that level up my watercolor paintings. At the same time, I'll show you how I painted this stargazer lily. Hi, I'm Bianca and I am a watercolor artist. I started my watercolor journey in 2019 and I started painting loose flowers like these. And now, I enjoy painting realistic flowers. Here are the effective tips that level up my watercolor painting skills. Learn to draw. The truth is, I do not draw that much. I still even studying to draw. I admit, I still need a lot of practice, but I know it's not too late. Learning to draw can help you a lot in your watercolor journey. Drawing is the foundation of your art. And if you don't know how to draw, you will have a hard time painting realistic subjects. Although you can trace, learning the basics and understanding the perspective can help you more in improving your watercolor painting. Even artists who paint loose flowers draw their compositions. Some artists draw as they paint. Underpaint. Underpainting can help your painting to have a natural shadow that will reflect underneath. It is the foundation of your colors. Our watercolor painting tutorials have underpainting, mostly with French Ultramarine by Daniel Smith. It is a warm blue that can intensify the top color from within. In this watercolor daffodil, instead of using French Ultramarine, I use quinacridone violet because it is the opposite of yellow. You also need to understand the color wheel, like which colors are complementary and which colors are synchronous and asynchronous. You can also test your paints like this to know which colors are good for underpainting. I painted the first layer and after it dried, I painted the second layer in the opposite direction to know which colors are great. If you look closely, when I painted yellow on top of the blues, they became green. Study the reference photo to know if there are any underlying colors, mostly on apples. It would be yellow and blue. Understanding the values. The best way to understand values is by playing with your colors. You need to know your watercolors very well. You need to know how light or dark your paint can be. You can paint a subject in monochrome, like this street lamp I painted with sepia. When you play with your watercolors and learn the values of your paint, you also learn the watercolor consistencies. If you want to learn more about watercolor consistencies, then you can tap the card at the top or check the link in the description box. Understanding the shadows. When I was a beginner, believe me, it took me time to understand the shadows. My paintings look flat and have no dimension. I learned to change my reference photo from color to black and white using my phone. In this way, it would be easy for you to identify the highlighted areas, the shadows, and their intensity. Studying the reference photo. Some reference photos are complex. It looks difficult to paint. There are a lot of elements that can be intimidating to paint. What I do is I select the main subject of my painting. Then I simplify my watercolor painting by removing the other elements. As an example, the reference photo I use has an additional flower in the background and a glass vase that I didn't include in my painting. Remember, you don't have to paint everything. You can simplify your painting. Also, take note of the colors in the photo. Are there any colors you can see beneath? Glazing. Glazing means applying thin transparent layers one at a time. Let the first layer dry and then apply a few more layers. This may take time, yes, but it's worth it. Did you notice in my watercolor painting tutorials, I have multiple layers of paint before I'm satisfied and I can say my painting is done? Because I glaze. You can watch my other watercolor painting tutorials in a playlist, and I put the link in the description box. If you find this video helpful, tap the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel, and remember to tap the notification bell so YouTube will let you know if I upload a new video. Leaving white spaces. If there's light, there's shadows. When there's shadow, there is highlight. So always leave white spaces. The best way to leave white spaces is avoiding painting on the area that has highlights. The whitest thing in your painting is your paper. You can avoid painting on the highlighted area and cover it with masking fluid. Then you can remove the masking fluid to reveal the white in your painting. Follow the shape. If you want your paintings to look three-dimensional instead of flat, I suggest painting following the shape of the subject. What I mean is, if your subject is curved, then follow the curve, instead of applying the paint going up and down or left and right. Repeated brush strokes. There are just a few brush strokes that I mastered, and you should too. When I was a beginner artist, I painted loose flowers, and I found painting realistic flowers can be intimidating. I was surprised when I started painting realistically. The secret is to learn to draw and master the brush strokes. The brush strokes are repeated over and over during the painting. If you notice, I repeated the brush strokes on every petal and leaves. Practice. Of course, you can't do the previous tips without practice. Master the brush strokes, study the reference photo, learn to draw. Don't overthink, just paint. It doesn't matter if you've painted today's socks, you can try again later. Practice and improving your skills takes time. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I started painting in 2019. It's 2024. My watercolor painting skills didn't improve overnight, and these tips I learned personally. So if you want to improve more your watercolor painting skills, I suggest watching these to help you out with your watercolor journey. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, and tap the notification bell so YouTube will let you know if I upload a new video.